Hello and welcome to Out of State DMing. I'm your host, lluksblackheart, and joining me is my lovely co-host, LadyCelt. Today we will be starting our discussion about sorcerer slash wizard spells. Because yes, they share spells. A thing I will note is they did a decent amount of spells for each level, despite the limitations that they have for the number of spells they can actually work with. Because, like sorcerers, they have a limit to how many they can memorize. Wizards, they have their spell book is their limit, and each spell takes up one page per level of the spell, so they can end up filling up a spell book relatively quickly. And there is a magical item that helps with that. Um, but they have to get a hold of that particular magical item first. But despite the limitations on how many spells they actually get to use, they do have a nice array to pick from. Another thing that sorcerer wizard spells note when you're looking them up is they actually have what school each spell is right here in this list here. Like aberration. Well, algebra. English, I swear I speak it. For like the resistance spell. It tells you right there ABJUR. It's a
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so it gives the little acronyms for each school they're in. That doesn't actually you don't actually see that in any of the other spell lists because it's not that huge of a deal for those particular classes, unlike wizards and sorcerers that can end up specializing. They can pretty much go, I'm good with with these schools of magic, which and not good with these ones. So it's something like instead of having to do some spell research to see what school it tells you right there. But with that being said, we'll start with them. Like resistance is the first one they get, which is a temporary uh, bonus to saving throws, so it's a good 0 level spell. They also get acid splash, which is not a bad spell, especially since it's a 0 level spell that's used to damage things. Does a die 3 acid damage. So it a lot of people discredit it because it's a die 3 damage. But it's a 0 level spell. You don't it's not going to be as grand as like any of the other damage spells, but still right there you get the ability to cast a 0 level spell that actually does damage. Detect poison, which is always a good spell to be able to detect poison in one creature or small objects. It's always good. Detect magic, which if you don't have this, a lot of people will say you don't know what you're doing. Just even though it's one of my personal favorites because it can help fix a lot of things. Does where's the magical stuff at? Detect magic. Read magic for scrolls and spell books, right there. That's always good. Daze. A lot of people discredit it for it because it's a 0 level spell, which means the DC to resist is really, really low. Because DCs for spells is 10 plus spell level plus your key casting stat modifier. So
Okay.
Daze being 0 level starts with a DC 10. So unless you have like a high intelligence or a high charisma, depending on if you're a sorcerer or a wizard, a DC 10 is not hard to beat. You have a 50% chance on the die roll alone to beat. So a lot of people don't take it because they're like, it sucks. But it's like there's plenty of things that have low will saving throws that a lot of people don't quite get. Because if you're level 1 and you're fighting things that, it's like, I roll 2, I beat a DC 10. It's like, what are you facing at level 1 that has a plus 10 to its will? Because that's either a high hit die, well, it's a high level, or a just a very powerful entity you probably shouldn't be fighting at level 1.
Right.
Yeah, and my big thing is I focus less on the level of it and more on the fact that its cap is it's a 4 hit die. That's the cap. So when you hit a creature with it, if the DM looks at you and goes, oh, he still gets his action, and he didn't roll, that tells you one of two things. It's immune to effects of days, or it's higher than a 4 hit die creature. So it's kind of like a, we might die. So anything that doesn't have to worry about the spell because of their high will, most likely also isn't subject to the spell at all because it's going to have a lot of hit dice to support having that high modifier. But being able to look at an orc or a goblin or a kobold and go, days, there's a chance he fails. And if he fails, they lose their next action. So their turn becomes null and void. Which, I don't know about you, but denying enemies the ability to act is a very big thing.
Right.
Um, it's one of those things that's like if your character gets dazed or somehow denied an action, it pisses people off. It irritates them. No one wants to go, it's my turn, just for the DM and go, this effect is in play. No, it's not. We get to skip you. Uh, so it's all it always sucks if it works on you, and it always sucks if it doesn't work on the enemy.
Right. But when it works, it's good.
Yeah, because again, they can't do anything for an additional turn. Yay! Their next turn is null and void. Yeah, you can get away. Party members can. It just works. Uh, the next spell, Dancing Lights, which you create torches or other. It says other lights because it can look like lanterns, but the lanterns or floating orbs. Um, this spell can work to illuminate an area because it's multiple torch-like lights that you can spread out around yourself or the party to just keep an area lit. But because it can be some distance away from you, so as long as the group isn't trying to outpace the movements of the dancing lights, you can use it as a decoy. There's, I think it's like I want to say like around 100 feet you can have them be from you. So it means like the party can be over here and the dancing lights can be over here. At a distance, it looks like you can
There's a
torches.
party over there.
So
Yeah.
it's a party. So creatures go over there and go, wait, where's the party? Where's the people I want to eat? Where's the bad guy? It's like the enemy orcs going, where's these people we're supposed to butcher? And you can occasionally look over to see if like, anything's entering the light areas, and you can go, yep, decoy worked. Everyone just hunker down, have the lights move for a little bit, and disappear, or just keep moving stealthy, and have it moving there to make sure that people are looking there. Because I'm pretty sure it's one of the spells that the higher level you are, the farther level you can be, and if you use certain meta magic feats, you can be even farther away.
Oh yeah.
So it's like If enemies are looking there instead of where you're at, it's always good.
Yeah,
Uh,
and coupled with something like audible glamour, you could really throw somebody off.
yeah, it's like there's multiple things, especially if you dive into illusions. Uh, you can do all sorts of illusion shenanigans to make it play out a little bit more hilarious. The only things that won't automatically fail a lot of those things would be the undead, and the undead will go, "Those are illusions," because they're immune to mind affecting effects. Of course, the
Oh yeah.
intelligence still kicks in, so even though a skeleton technically doesn't have to worry about illusionary effects, who's to say it still won't walk up and start swinging at an illusion thinking still a real person, because again, they're not intelligible creatures. Next spell is Flare. It's another good one, but it's also a lot of people discredit it because it's a zero level spell. It dazzles one creature, which means they get a -1 on attack rolls. I don't know about you, but denying an enemy a bonus to hitting you is always a good thing.
Yeah.
Does
Anything that minimizes their abilities.
Yeah, it's like one of the things I keep telling people in a lot of games is 1 point could literally be all you need to hit something. 1 point. And they never truly believe me until it happens, where it's like, well, if you had this in effect or this in effect, you would have had this +1. And there were several times where you almost hit or you almost succeeded in what you were doing, but you were off by how many points? 1. Maybe I'm on to
Right.
something. Uh, these are just the zero level spells. These are the starter. I want to uh, deny my opponent something. It's like there's also light. I love the light spell. Light, a lot of spellcasters get access to light. It is a very widespread spell. And being able to touch an object and have it shine like a torch is always great. It doesn't produce heat, it doesn't produce smoke, and you can even touch a torch and boom. It's not permanent, but for a while you look like you're holding a torch because you're holding a torch and you have light, but there's no heat, there's no smoke. It's just shining there. And it doesn't have to be that. You can touch an arrow. Like the archer's about ready to shoot, you touch the arrow, it shines. He releases it. The it goes that way shining. It's like the whole I. It's like the glow
It's a
stick thing.
trace around.
Yeah. It's like people go trace around. That's technically what it is. It's a literal trace around. It's like people throwing light sticks to light up an area. That's the equivalent. Is I take this object, light it. You can toss it, hold it. If it's an arrow, it can technically be. It's still technically shot. There's going to be penalties to trying to hit a bullseye on something because like you're aiming there with the light shining in your face, or it's a bolt out of a crossbow. Touch someone's javelin. Boom. They're not losing that javelin for at least another couple of minutes because it's shining like a light. But like, there's ways to light up the distance, uh, or just annoy things because like if enemies are trying to sneak up on you, you can pretty much do what they did in a lot of the like World War One and Two. Use it as a flare instead of shooting it up to light above. You just shoot it in like on a tree or in the grass part there. It's shining, which means they have to um, quickly cover it up to not properly illuminate stuff. But then at points like, hey, look, we know where you're at. Start lobbing stuff in that direction. Hey, sorcerer, thanks for the light spell. Do you have fireball? Because that's a straight. It's like I know where to put it now. Where? Right? Boom. There. Yeah. Speaking of damage spells, Ray of Frost. Die 3 cold damage. So it's like right there, a very simple cold spell. And like I said, a lot of people they look at that die 3 and dismiss it, but it's like it's damage options. And
Right.
if you're stressing like I gotta do damage, if you're high enough level to cast higher damage spells, cast the higher level spells. It's a good backup. It's a good in case of emergency. It's a I don't think I need to waste this cone of cold, but I'm going
Right.
to hit it with that die 3 and just nickel and dime it to
It's a good
death.
finishing.
Yeah,
It's a good finishing spell. It's already on the edge. Just kick it off the edge.
yeah, it's real good there. Uh, Here's a first illusion spell, Ghost Sound. You can use that in conjunction with Dancing Lights. So you can have Dancing Lights in the area, and you can utilize Ghost Sound to make noises there to make sure things go towards that rather than you. It can be used for distractions. Does if bad guys are looking for you in one spot, does like you're in a dungeon, you're trying to somewhat hide. You know the big bad minotaur's about ready to kick down, like kick open where you're hiding there, so you quickly get off that spell, hoping it doesn't hear you casting it, and ghost sound coming from the hallway of the soft boot walking, like someone's trying to sneak but not being so good. The Minotaur's going to go check it out, giving you time to switch hiding spots or just not be in that localized area anymore. So like you can really, if you get inventive with it, can trick a lot of things.
Yeah. And Mr. Miyagi said the best block is no be there.
They can't hit you if you're not there. That's the best form of blocking. Just don't be where they're swinging. Um, the next spell is a very effective spell. Disrupt Undead. The only catch is it only works on undead.
Well,
That's
yeah, but
why
what does it do exactly?
uh you when you cast I can't remember if it's a range or a touch spell, but what it does is it does a die 6 damage to one undead. So
Okay.
for a 0 level spell, a die 6. That's better than all the other damage spells so far for 0 level spells. The only limitation is it's against undead. And you wouldn't believe how many games I've played in, how many games I've ran, where the wizard or the sorcerer is complaining that they can't have anything, I mean, they don't have anything that will work against an undead because, well, wizards and sorcerers, unless they specialize in necromancy, they can't do anything about undead because undead are immune to cold, immune to mind affecting effects. It's like, don't you get disrupt undead? No. It's like, yeah, it's a 0 level spell. You could have taken it.
Right.
Uh, and like several of the DMs I've played with, they love throwing undead at people. Like one of their starting things, like, okay, there's a necromancer in the city cemetery raising the dead. You guys have to go stop him. It's like, well, screw the city guard then, but okay. Okay, that's the entire premise. We knew that before we even made characters. That was going to be a starting kick. Why does everyone it's like suddenly everyone like forgets the basics of undead. It's like, yes, I'm carrying around both a morning star and a sword. Why are you guys not fleshy undead, bony undead? That's literally the difference. Slashing for zombie like undead because their DR gets bypassed by that. Bludgeoning for skeletals because that bypasses their stuff. It's basic undead knowledge. Fleshy things need to be slashed. Bony things need to be smashed. Why is the archer complaining that he's doing no damage? Of course, piercing weapon. Why didn't you take Disrupt Undead? Because it's a useless spell that we wouldn't be using. We are literally fighting undead, and you
Yeah,
are.
it's
It's like you get multiple 0 level spells you can cast each day. You could have just.
yeah,
It's like.
it's foolish not to take it,
Yeah. Yeah. The,
especially if your campaign is likely to run into
yeah.
undead.
Yeah. It's like if you know the DM likes to utilize undead. If the DM tells you, it's like, yeah, you guys are going to be heroes gathered to defeat this undead horde. It's like, what? Why aren't you taking something that works against undead? It's like, it's also a die 6 spell. So it's like at level 1, you're doing a decent damage with it. You may not get a bunch of 0 level spells to cast per day, but being able to be a mage and do a decent amount of damage at level 1 to an undead, I would be more concerned about if you're still standing next to it, if you manage not to actually tip it into and whittle away whatever hit points is left, because like that would be my concern. The squishy mage still standing there when the spell did not do enough damage to actually, destroy the undead, because he's squishy and he's probably going to get downed now.
Yeah, that's why you gotta hit and run when you're lower
Huh.
level.
5 foot shit. I mean, 5 foot step. It's a free action. As long as you don't do any other movement that turn, you do not provoke attack of opportunity. Therefore, you can hit him with his spell and boom. And that's only if it's a touch spell. If it's a range spell, well, then it doesn't matter because there's distance between you and them. Keep like the barbarian or the fighter between you and the undead at that point. The next spell is another necromancy spell, Touch of Fatigue. It's a touch. This is an actual melee touch spell, so you actually have to get in the thick of it to do it. You can do a touch attack that fatigues the target. Fatigue is like a -2 penalty to attack rolls, AC rolls. Well, not AC rolls. It's a well, I think if memory serves, it does affect AC. I know it's a -2 to attack rolls and a -2 to skill checks, which is a really good debuff because the target is now fatigued. They're tired. They're not necessarily going to want to fight much longer because, again, when you start to get fatigued, you don't really want to do certain things, especially when you know it's affecting your ability to actually not die. So that's another great debuff that no one really takes. The next spell, Mage Hand, is one of the most common spells I've ever seen taken, and it's because it's pretty useful. It's a hand that can carry up to 5 pounds. So if an object weighs more than 5 pounds, even by an ounce, the spell cannot do it. It technically can't do fine manipulation. It's not an attack spell, so you cannot directly attack. Indirectly attack is different. Like having it drop having it drop an alchemist's fire. Oh, yeah, an alchemist fire.
That's what I was.
Or
My question was going
it's
to
it's
be.
not making the attack roll. It's releasing the item that happens to technically be an attack action, but it's not a direct attack action. It's an indirect attack action.
Right.
So you can't give it a dagger and have it stab someone for you. Uh, but you can do that. Uh, because I've had to cover this spell more recently in my Thursday campaign, the spell has a few limitations. Firstly, it can't go more than like I want to say off the top of my head because didn't have to over focus on that part. I had to focus on other parts of it. Like 50 feet from you, it's like somewhere between like 30 to 50 feet from you. I can't really
Okay.
exceed that distance. Otherwise, it automatically disappears. And it can only move up to 30 feet a turn. And you have to direct it. It's
Okay.
not an automatic, it just does what it wants to. You have, the duration is one plus the number of rounds you concentrate on it. So when you stop concentrating on it, it disappear. It stays active for one round after that before it disappears, and you have to direct it. If you want it to move, it's using up. You're using your action to have it move. So it's not like you're getting you can do a bunch of different actions over here while a mage hand goes off. You can use it to deliver touch spells, but you have to pass a concentration check if you want to keep the hand active longer than what it currently is. So like if they disrupt undead and they touch a fatigue, the those touch spells are like, okay, I need to touch them. Mage Hand can be used to deliver touch attacks, so you don't even have to risk getting hit to deliver it. But a big thing is, it takes up your actions. I mean, it takes up your turn to actually directly doing it. If you're not focusing on the hand, but you still want to keep it there, you still have to do a concentration check just to be able to do attack actions and or cast any other spells. But yeah, it still can be really nifty and handy. The next spell is Mending, and it makes minor
All right.
repairs on an object. It is a nifty spell. It restores a die 4 amount of damage done on an object. And my co host just has to check on something real quick. Healthy drink. Healthy drink. Uh, Looks like they're coming back. It's probably dogs being dogs. Okay, I'm having slight. I was having connection problems there. Connection problems are very problematic. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
And we are
I love sometimes
back.
my phone will go out of range for my Wi-Fi, and it's like it's right there. It's 5 feet that way.
Yeah, I get. Get that the internet can be a fickle mistress. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
by saying mending, I said he recovers die 4 of that damage. A lot of things that people misinterpret is the spell, even though it says like makes minor repairs. If an object is considered broken, mending doesn't work on it because broken objects means that the HP of the object has reached 0 or less. Unlike a person who can go to the negative before uh, worrying about death, because it's like neg 10 is when you have to worry about death, objects don't have that luxury. When they reach a 0, it's technically, no,
It's all over.
it's not viable. It's all over. Um, So like, and when an object breaks, they're like, "I'm gonna mend it." It's like it's broken. Mending won't work because it's technically, if this was a living creature, it would be dead. Dead things you can't heal because it's dead. So when the wagon wheel breaks, it's too late for mending. You should have cast mending like a while ago when you thought that like okay, there's something somewhat wrong with it. It is a good spell if there's constructs in the party, because if a DM lets additional races in, there's a few races that need actual things to heal them because normal things don't work. Like, for instance, Warforges. That it's an Eberron race, so
Right.
in
Or
the.
golems or
Yeah, it's a Warforges are technically a golem, well, golem with a soul. So if you're playing in the campaign setting of Eberron, where the Warforges are from, without someone with mending, you're going to have a problem. Does you suffer the same thing of no con score, curing spells don't actually work on you, you need to have something to heal you. Because that's the trade off you're playing, to not stress a bunch of other stuff everyone else has to stress. You're sitting there going, crud, I I need either someone to play another Warforged so that way we can repair each other's, or I gotta really, really be good with repairing, or I gotta convince someone to have mending and willing to cast it whenever we go fighting. Because as long as the Warforged technically doesn't hit that 0 marker, he's golden because they mend me, please, brother. Uh, I will state now that I have a list of alternate spells that technically aren't standard spells, because the book they come from, uh, that help a lot with those things there. But when we eventually get into expanded spells from things I personally use from other books, we'll get into it. But I do have a spell list for better spells. When it comes to the standard book, later on in other levels, there's going to be another spell that is pretty much the healing version. Well, it's the object version of the spell heal. So there is a standard book spell that's really good for a lot of things. But now we can go to the next spell, which is message. You send a whispered conversation at a distance. The only real problem I have with the spell message is you don't just say I message blah. One, they have to be within range of the spell.
right.
A lot of people misinterpret that. Two, it's objects that solid objects are capable of blocking the spell. So if you're in room A of a tavern and someone else is like 3 doors down and you want to have a secret conversation with them, the walls do impede with that. And technically, as long as well, technically the door, it can go through the lock hole or underneath some of the crevices on the door. So the door doesn't technically stop it, but it has to follow the hallway, go through there and that distance there. So you have to take that into kind. So if there's too many things for it to have to go around to get to the person, it doesn't get to the person. Just let's say you're like 30 feet from me. That's within range of the spell. But we're in a labyrinth. The spell doesn't go straight to you, it goes following the length it has to go through in the labyrinth to get to you.
Oh
But
yeah.
that distance is greater than the spell's actual range
Then
because it's not going 30 feet. It has to follow that distance. And if we're moving farther away, the spell no longer works because now we're definitely out of range if we originally were in range. The other problem with the spell is you have to point at where the person is. Do you see the problem?
yeah.
If you think
Might as well
player,
just shout.
yeah, if you're like if player A wishes to cast message on player B, he points where player B he is. Well, at least where player A thinks player B is. Player B is that way over there. Spell fails because the target's not where it's
Not going the
in.
right way.
Yeah, just even if it's like not necessarily is like the target may be closer or farther away, you pretty much have to be pointing in their direction. So if I wanted to send a message to my mom, I would have to point to where she normally is sitting. If she's not there, like for instance, she's on the front porch, I it fails. It's not because she's out of
Right.
range of the spell, it's because I'm pointing in the wrong direction. A lot of DMs don't actually enforce that aspect of the spell or actually the range of the spell. Just like, okay, it's a secret conversation, yay. And to a large degree, it is kind of like, yay, that's a cool DM. He's being that well, they're being lenient. They're being a little bit generous and kind to their players. But you don't have to be an expert on the spell to go, is he there? Nope, spell failed. Is he there? Spell failed. What about over there? Ah, finally got you after casting the spell 3 times. Stop moving around so much. So the spell has its problems because it's a 0 level spell. So what do you expect?
Right.
And B, there's better versions of it when you get higher level. So is it good at level 1? Yes. If you're high enough level to cast the better versions without the limitations that Message has, cast those ones. Utilize those ones. Because they're a lot better. You don't have to stress the stupidity. Because I've actually had to go through that in my Thursday game. Just one of my players is like, I made sure they knew this, and then they looked at me and got sassy because I went, oh, it failed. They're like, why? What direction did you point? That way. They the player pointed at the character. More accurately, they pointed at the player that plays the character. And I went, well,
Right.
where's their
Right.
character? Oh, I don't know.
Oh, hold on. Yeah. Beautiful. Be what? Okay, thank you. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So it's like, well, where do you think they are? On that balcony in that direction. Spell fails. What do you mean? It's like they're not there. They're not in the direction you pointed. Like even if you do a minor circle, they're not in it. Why? Because your character because they obviously moved. It's like,
And
I'm not trying
everybody's,
to be mean, but your character was up over here. You saw a very familiar albatross flying off in that direction. You then went to another part of the building you're in, and then cast a magic spell to where that character was, knowing that you saw them activate a magical item that turned him into an albatross and flew off. Well, you said earlier there's other albatrosses flying off, and I was just trying to make sure I was hitting the right one. It is 11 o'clock at night. Albatrosses are not nocturnal. It would be odd for you to see a bunch of albatrosses at 11 o'clock at night. Do you want to try again? It's like, but moving on from that minor migraine, we have open/lock. I love this spell because it's a spell that lets you open small and or light things, like if a window, a door that's not like a typical standard wooden door, not a reinforced door or anything like that, but a standard door. You can go, I open that or I close it. Most chests open it or close it, so you can be at a distance and open the chest. Well, if there's any traps that go off, guess what? You're at a distance when you opened it. You're not. You're safe. Uh, so it's like, boom. If you want to have fun with it, you can do everything you can not to get noticed by another party member, and constantly have something like open or close. Like they spend their action to open up a door, close. Now they have to reopen the door, close. Or like they close a door and you open it, so now they have to close it again. They go to walk off, door opens. So you can have fun with the spell. You can also do it to not be endangered, as I said, opening chests from a distance. So it has its uses for both humor and utility. The next spell, Arcane Mark. It described a personal rune, visible or invisible. If it's kind of like, I'm going to give you a temporary tattoo on your forehead, head, and it's a personal rune. So it's like, hey, I just marked you with that stamp. Now it marks you as my friend. If it's visible, everyone can see it. If it's invisible, only things that can bypass invisibility or things that have an active detect magic can see that there's an arcane mark. It's a great way for arcane using thieves or mage guilds that want to be slightly secretive with things to mark special locations or directions to do
okay,
things, because like it's invisible arcane mark. Without these spells here, you're not going to know it's there.
right.
So you can have the runes be a little bit personalized, like for pointing in directions, stuff like that. Or if you're just marking something as is like, here's my mage mark. So here's when I do this here, it's going to be my mage mark, marking this as mine. A lot of mages will do that. There's like even a special item I found for identifications where the local mage skill takes part in helping make it, and it has a special arcane mark put inside it to identify if it's real or not. So it's like it's a very good spell. That particular item is mainly used for guilds and forms of royalty, like nobles, kings, queens, princes, and dukes and lords because it's like, here's this ring. Don't believe it's legit? Here's this very special rune. And if you want to prove it's fake or not, we'll just go to the people who do that runes because they'll be able to say if it's true or not. Because like, that's not our rune. So it's like it has uses. The next spell is probably one of my favorite spells, unless you're trying to really, really upset the rest of the party, and it's prestidigitation. The,
Okay.
the entry here for it says before minor tricks, and yeah, you can perform minor tricks with it, but its primary use is cleaning. You can literally cast it, and the higher level you are, the more you can clean with one casting of it. But if you're like the party's like we haven't bathed or washed in like 3 months, we smell rancid because we've been dungeon crawling and killing horrific things, and
Right.
we may or may not have crawled through a few, you know, sewers. Well, we're going somewhere where we can't reek like this and we can't have stuff like this. The mage goes, prestidigitation, give me a few moments. And and they clean themselves, their equipment, and they start cleaning everyone else. Depending on level, depends on how many castings there are. So you can literally clean things. You can also use it to like alter colors of things. Not necessarily permanently, but you can, like, if you want your hair to be a different color, you can slightly do that. If you want your gloves to be like violently pink, boom. You can
Yeah,
also slightly
actually, I do.
use it. The what?
I said, actually, I do. You know how I am with all my pink stuff.
It must be pink. My inner noise marine is coming out. Well, that's more like purples, but still. Uh, but you can like slightly alter textures of things, so food can be slightly rougher or smoother to eat. You can alter how excite fragrances for smells, how something tastes. So you can look at someone that's about ready to eat some bacon, and you can go shoe leather. Now they're kind of like, what's wrong with bacon? So you can have minor fun with them like that. If you take it overboard, it's not the DM's fault if the person you won't stop doing it to refuses to cast healing spells on you, while also occasionally full on cold shotting your head with a mace because you literally won't stop.
There.
There's like there's only so far you can go.
Don't start none, won't be none.
It's like it literally don't start. There won't be nothing. But it has you can use it to trick things, have fun with things, entertain things, as long as you're not going too far with it. But a big thing is keeping everyone clean. Because that will stop a lot of equipment degradation if it's clean. Like even in modern
Yeah.
times, if you don't properly take care of something, it's going to eventually break down. Like here soon, I gotta get a can of air to properly air out my laptop and my Xbox to make sure that any and all dust in there is blown out.
Right.
Out. That technically counts as cleaning. So if I had access to precipitation in real life, all my machines would be the cleanest things on the planet because like
My house would
clean.
be immaculate. That would be awesome.
Yeah, it's like it makes cleaning a breeze. You want your dishes washed, precipitation. You want your laundry clean, precipitation. You need your carpets clean, precipitation. You need to rake the yard, precipitation. It's a, it's a, it's probably one of the best utility spells ever, and it's a 0 level spell, which means when you want to affect the volume of what it affects, because like when cleaning, it's like 1 cubic foot foot around for 1 round a level, because like your level is how long it lasts, so you can 2 cubic feet. You can put whiten on it, which now it's 2 cubic feet. That's a lot. You can put extend on it, which now doubles how long it lasts. You can put enlarge, so you can affect things farther away from you. So because it's a 0 level spell, when you're trying to get a lot more done with it, you can up its level with these meta magic feats. So yes, you're casting at a higher level, but at the same time, you're doing more with the spell. Like you can even like twin cast or repeat cast it with those meta magic feats, and now it's affecting even more because you have more of the spell going active. So you can, done correctly, you can literally do random shenanigans with it when you're trying to just harass people, being inconvenienced to the enemy, or just trying to go, I don't want the party to get attention from, well, everyone because they refuse to, have basic hygiene. So I'm going to do everything I can to precipitation the crap out of everything every single chance I get. I love players that do that. Just the amount of times in games I've played in and ran, it's like, you guys have been crawling through a sewer for 3 game sessions. Yes. This is the 5th one this game, not this game, but this campaign. Yeah. Each one grosser
It
than the next.
cleaned up.
And it doesn't help that there was also several marshes, an arid flatlands, and a small desert. Well, what's the problem? Maybe the reason why no one's wanting to do stuff with us is because the entire party smells like rancid death. No, we don't. You guys haven't done anything to clean your equipment or yourselves. In real life, you would get thrown out of a building. You walk into a shop, pretty much dripping of, I don't know what soap is, or clean water. It's like the DM, like 5 minutes ago, says as we were walking, yeah, that party member over there, as they were just waving out some of their clothes to get some of the excess water out, you're pretty sure a few turds hit the ground. Everyone went, and kept walking. It's like,
Ew, ew,
what?
ew.
Well, you guys are traveling through a sewer. It's like, yeah, no. Can we fix this? Because what the wizard?
Right,
I'm not
right.
wasting precipitation on this. It's like, you did your hair wick, and I'm pretty sure I got rancid sewer on me. Can we, like, can we not be part of the local ecosystem, please? Or at least get told to go back to it when we finally leave? Because this is why we're getting all the crappy jobs. It's because we are walking crap right now. Can we fix this? Yeah. Uh, yeah, it got so bad that in a lot of my games I started to enforce, if you're not doing proper hygiene, things will happen to you don't want to happen. Like what? Certain monsters that are attracted to those environments will start showing up and getting quite upset that you're not that environment. And possibly not, possibly having a very violent reaction to it. You're not sleeping in any of these taverns, even this poor one where you pretty much just lay on the ground in the corner, where you're pretty sure that guy wet himself. Well, why? because everyone rather sit right
Because you
next
smell
to
like
that
straight up
guy
ass.
than you. It's like we have literally people who haven't washed in a week
Yeah, like
leaving because they can smell you from 5 blocks away. It's like,
yeah,
no, the armor smith won't do anything with your armor. Why? Because it's stained with.
because
I can't
it's covered.
describe this on the internet without getting, red flagged. Because
Right.
no. So like several party members started enthusiastically washing everything because they're like, no, we don't want to smell like a marsh. Why? Hydras love marshes.
Yeah, yeah, don't want them coming up and
We don't want to smell like a sewer because we love beds. We
yeah.
don't want to starve. We're not high enough. No one's high enough level to cast the spells to feed us, and we need that food. But we have rations. We ran out 3 days ago. We need to buy more, but he won't sell because literally all we're about to get kicked out by the guard because they think we might, be the start of a new plague. Can we fix? But yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
swear I
The
had that conversation with my nephews once.
yeah that shenanigan aside, those are the zero level spells. Uh, that is a decent sized amount. It's not necessarily like here's 50,000 spells, but it's a decent amount. Especially when you put into the. Okay, I went.
Yeah, you were like fading out.
Okay, yeah, I was fading out because I was at internet connection. I mean, it disconnected me, reconnected me. Um, but yeah, like the stories and stuff aside, and stuff, and uh, wow, my brain just also wants to disconnect. Um, but
Well, it is 7.
yeah, the amount of spells a sorcerer can memorize is limited. Uh, Even though they get to cast a lot of spells in retrospect to what the wizard can cast, they're limited on how many they can remember. The wizard technically can have more, but it's limited to how many spells they can prep a day. Uh, and a spell book can only hold so many spells. Even though, and a lot of people forget this, a wizard spell book automatically gets all zero level spells. So all the spells we went through, a wizard gets for free, taking up a lot of space in his spell book. Does zero level spells take up? Does all spells at minimum take up 1 page? So there's like the first chapter of his book is zero level spells. So even though he can't prepare as many as the sorcerer can cast, he he gets access to all of them. The sorcerer, not so much. But the sorcerer's also spontaneous casting, so they don't need to actually like focus on how many preppings of days do I have. They're like, I have days, detect magic, and mage hand. I cast days. I cast days. I cast days. I'm out of spells now. Unlike the wizard who's like, I only have it prepared once, so I only get to cast it once. Uh, But that's it for zero. Next week we'll we be getting into the first level spells, and that's when some of the slightly better spells start to come in because again they're first level spells, not zero. Some of the
Okay.
spells will be pretty much repeats of uh, other spells that some people get, other classes get because this will be the last time I emphasize this. Not all spells are truly limited to just one casting class. Some of them are for a lot. Like read magic, pretty much everyone gets it. But I would like to thank you all for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and we will see you next week on more out of state DMing. Good night.